In a small town on the edge of Oregon lived Evelyn Carter, a woman most people barely noticed. She was in her early 40s, worked as an accountant at a real estate firm, and lived alone in a modest house with white shutters and a tired garden. To the world, Evelyn was invisible. But she hadn't always been this way. 10 years ago, Evelyn had trusted the wrong people. Her business partner, Mark Holden, and her husband, Daniel Carter, betrayed her together. They framed her for financial fraud, destroyed her reputation, and walked away with everything she had built. Evelyn lost her marriage, her career, and her dignity in one brutal year. The case was dismissed due to lack of evidence, but the damage was permanent. In that town, suspicion lingered like smoke. Everyone thought Evelyn had moved on. They were wrong. Every morning, Evelyn followed the same routine: coffee, work, silence. But inside her mind, the past replayed endlessly. Mark had smiled while signing documents that ruined her. Daniel had avoided her eyes while testifying against her. They had built new lives. Mark was now a powerful developer. Daniel had remarried and lived comfortably in Seattle. Evelyn didn't cry anymore. Her anger had cooled into something sharper: patience. At night, she studied logbooks, corporate loopholes, digital finance systems. She didn't want loud revenge. She wanted perfect revenge. Something clean. Something permanent. Opportunity came quietly. Evelyn discovered that Mark Holden's company was expanding aggressively, using risky investments and questionable loans. On paper, everything looked legal, but one wrong push could expose everything. Using a fake online identity, Evelyn began feeding anonymous tips to journalists and regulators. Small hints. Nothing obvious. At the same time, she applied for a remote consulting job at a financial analytics firm, one that unknowingly handled Mark's company data. She smiled for the first time in years. The fire had been lit. Within 6 months, rumors began spreading. An audit was announced. Then another. Mark Holden started appearing stressed on TV interviews. His confident voice cracked. Investors pulled out. Partners distanced themselves. Then the bomb dropped. A massive investigation revealed years of financial manipulation. Assets were frozen. The company collapsed overnight. Mark was arrested. Evelyn watched the news in silence, her hands steady, her heart calm. This wasn't joy. This was justice taking its first breath. Daniel was harder. He wasn't greedy like Mark. He was a coward. Evelyn knew his weakness: his need to look good, to be respected. She contacted his new employer anonymously and submitted evidence that Daniel had lied under oath years ago. Old court transcripts, emails he thought were deleted, contradictions he never noticed. An internal review began. Daniel lost his job. Then his reputation. Then his marriage. He tried calling Evelyn. She never answered. One rainy evening, Evelyn found Mark waiting outside her house. He looked older, broken. "You planned this," he said quietly. Evelyn stepped onto the porch. Calm. Controlled. "No," she replied. "You did. I just stopped protecting you." Mark begged. Then he cried. Evelyn felt nothing. "Revenge didn't destroy you," she said. "Your choices did." She closed the door. Months later, Evelyn moved away from the town that never believed her. She started her own financial consulting firm, honest, transparent, successful. For the first time in years, she slept peacefully. She didn't win because others lost. She won because she survived, learned, and took back control. Revenge didn't make her cruel. It made her free. Even after moving to a new city, Portland, Evelyn felt the past following her like a shadow. Success had come quickly. Her consulting firm, Carter & Co., gained clients who valued integrity over shortcuts. But one night, an unfamiliar name appeared in her inbox. Subject: I know what you did. Her heartbeat stayed steady as she read the email. No threats. No accusations. Just 4 words. She replied with 2, so do I. The sender never responded, but Evelyn knew someone was watching. And this time, she wasn't afraid. The message came from Rachel Monroe, a former executive from Mark Holden's company. Unlike Mark, Rachel had escaped prison by cooperating with investigators. Rachel was smart, dangerous, and angry. She blamed Evelyn for everything. Rachel began spreading rumors in financial circles, whispers that Evelyn manipulated systems, destroyed companies, ruined lives. Clients hesitated. Deals slowed. Evelyn realized something important: revenge didn't end with one victory. It demanded strength to protect what you rebuilt. Instead of hiding, Evelyn stepped forward. She volunteered to speak at financial ethics conferences. She published articles about corporate accountability. She became visible, too visible to attack quietly. Rachel tried leaking fake documents. Evelyn responded with truth. She opened her books publicly. Audits. Records. Everything transparent. Rachel's lies collapsed under scrutiny. For the second time in her life, Evelyn stood in the fire and didn't burn. Years after their divorce, Daniel showed up unexpectedly at her office. He looked hollow. Older. Defeated. I lost everything, he said. I didn't think you'd survive. Evelyn studied him carefully. That was your biggest mistake, she replied. Daniel asked for forgiveness. Evelyn didn't scream. She didn't cry. I forgave you a long time ago, she said calmly. But forgiveness doesn't mean access. She had learned the most powerful revenge wasn't punishment. It was distance. Late one night, alone in her apartment, Evelyn finally asked herself the question she'd avoided for years: was it worth it? The anger had fueled her. But it had also taken time. Sleep. Peace. She understood now: revenge is a road, not a home. And she had reached the end of it. Evelyn shut down the last fake accounts. Deleted old files. Burned handwritten notes of plans that never came true. She chose something radical. A future without enemies. She began mentoring women who had been betrayed, silenced, underestimated. Not to teach revenge but resilience. Her story became a warning to the corrupt and hope to the broken. Years later, a journalist asked her, "Do you regret what you did?" Evelyn smiled softly. "I regret trusting the wrong people," she said. "But I don't regret becoming strong enough to walk away." Outside, the city moved fast. Inside, Evelyn was finally still. The fire inside her hadn't died. It had transformed into light.